Nobody is trying to get housing built, okay?
Zero.
The developers want
less
to
houses
do
being
it.
built right now than we've had in how many decades?
We've got all these politicians that are lying to us and they're making up stuff like, what do we have here, TK? We got, what's Toronto City Council passes plan to entice developers to build rental homes? No, they
No,
didn't. No,
no
they
incentive.
didn't.
Zero
They
incentive. We
very
talked
little.
about this last show. There's zero benefit to the developer to add that many affordable units to only get a break on some development charges and property taxes.
Well, okay, so but what's so crazy is people read this. I had a conversation yesterday with a guy,
Political term. Yeah.
but I had a conversation with a guy who builds custom houses, okay? And so generally what happens is you dabble in custom homes, you make some money, you get into like maybe a townhouse project and then, maybe a mid-rise and then a higher like there's steps, there's levels. I mean, some guys go straight for the top and some of them win, some of them don't win. We're going to see a lot of them don't win soon. But I'm talking to this guy who's a custom home builder yesterday, and he's like, I want these main street things, and I see like all these incentives, and I'm going to go out there. I'm going to buy 7 properties between now and January 15th.
Yeah.
And because of these new incentives for rentals, this is going to be beautiful. This is going to be wonderful. And he doesn't have a fucking clue what he's talking about. But he read the article and he's reading the articles that are saying, oh, wow, if you buy it over here, like, because
It's
what
got to
they've
be a
also
benefit.
done. Yeah,
There's got to be a material benefit here.
well, now they're doing avenue studies and the Main Street thing and like
Yeah.
everything, right? They're throwing all these things that literally, I mean, some of them do something, some of them don't. But then
The
the
avenues,
ones
I
that,
think, is a good one. Like that site I sold on Shepherd, that's the only one that I was working on that would benefit from that immensely.
yeah,
So
listen,
if you can
it's
throw
not,
on a few extra stories, the issue though that you always bring up is that any sites that are already approved that maybe got 7 or 8, now they're going to say, oh, well, maybe I can do 10 or 11 or 12. And that's going to end up delaying the actual units ever getting built. Right.
ever getting built. Like,
Yeah.
well, that's a problem. But
Yeah.
th- th- there's plenty of avenues. There's
Yeah.
plenty of properties on avenues that are available or that you can build something on. So by expanding the list, okay, are like by expanding the area and not incentivizing people to do it, what are you doing? You're doing what you just said. You're giving
Yeah.
guys that already own land that were thinking about it as a 6-story. Now they're going to go, oh, okay, let's hit the brakes. Let's redo everything. We're going for 14 stories now, or
Yeah.
we're going for
I actually
like
just
our.
thought of a really great site. I'll share
Hmm,
it with you afterwards.
that's fantastic. Last time
Yeah.
that happened, we hit a grand slam. But
Yeah.
like our friend Chris spoke, he just put in an application in Etobicoke where it
Mhm.
was like an 11 or 14-story application previously. He bought 2 more properties and now he's going for 43 stories. Okay. So again, you have a site that was almost ready to have some housing, and then you get a guy who knows a bit better, right? And things change, and all of a sudden you got like, and 43 stories is not going to be a slam dunk. They're going to fight back and forth, and
Sure.
right. And so my real point here, TK, is
I'm
that
not sure
because
what it is.
I'm in the trenches and I see how political these things get and how crazy it really is, all
So the
these ideas that they throw at us behind the surface, under the surface, behind closed doors, nobody is trying to fucking get housing built. Okay. The
zero.
developers want
Less
to
houses
do it.
being built right now than we've had in how many decades?
Well, but
Right?
that's all of the shit coming together into a reset, right? And it was necessary. That
Yeah, but
needed to
it's
happen,
it's mainly not because that the cash isn't there. Okay? It's not that
or the
people are
willingness.
it's yeah, they're like we've got the money, we want to do it. There's a lot of high net worth people who are in development who want to make things work, but they're watching all their friends right now who are all struggling to be able to sell their zone sites or to be able to do pre-construction on the zone sites that they've been working for years on.
Yeah.
They're struggling because they're getting calls from people that they've never heard of saying, "Hey, I've got this great zone site. Do you want to buy it?"
Yep.
Right? So they got so many options. They're struggling because the lenders that they normally deal with are coming to them and they're saying, "Hey, we're taking this guy into receivership, and we just wanted to know if this was a site that you guys might be interested or not, because based on X, Y, and Z, we can't sell it." right? And so they're just kind of going like, hey, wait a
And
second,
X, Y,
maybe I
and
should
Z are
wait.
all lies, by the
Maybe
way, right? They're all not really the reason they can't sell it. They need another
who?
site. They need the capital for a better deal. Like,
Sure,
right?
sure, the
It's
lenders,
always
yeah.
bullshit.
Sure. But the bottom line is you've got like this huge wave of issues going through every single development site in the city right now because everybody borrowed money. There's very few guys who are going in cash. I got one guy that I'm going on the put on the market probably next week. Him and I are going to talk again on Monday. He built 4 houses on spec.
Well,
Cash.
good timing. Cash?
Cash. No debt on the property. So we're going to be offering VTBs, but I looked at it and I was just like, oh man. And
Oh, man.
he had them
Oh.
finished in the peak of the market. And he just listened to an agent who,
He
for
listed it for
whatever,
2 million more
what,
than it was worth.
yeah, for whatever reason, you know, the agent said, hey, don't worry, you're going to make money. Bottom line is this was not a profitable site, but he was in the peak of the market 2022. So he spent 2 years trying to sell with a couple different agents. So finally he said, what do I got to do? He knocked on our door. And I showed him a path on how to get these houses sold,
But that's what's
which he's
crazy
got
is
no
that,
more. This is not normal.
no, but
How
how
many
do these
guys are in that
guys not
position?
know the real path to getting it sold? Like, what do you got to be a genius to be in real estate? What do you got to do to get it
It's
sold? Do you have
emotion.
to?
It's emotion. It's emotion.
It's
I don't
just a
want to
number.
sell and lose money. My family, my retirement, my pride, all this type of stuff. This is what people think about, you know. I got other stuff going on too. I
Can
told you
you
about a little
get
bit of a
somebody more
scandal.
though? Can you get? Oh, the
Yeah, well, I'm going to give him
scandal.
the most amount of money you can possibly get. The bottom line is the market's going down. I'm going to sell his homes before he loses even more and make sure we squeeze every dollar out of any buyer that comes to the table,
While it's
right?
going
They're
down.
great houses. They're great houses.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you got anything from one of these clips. And if you want to see some more, press something on the screen here. Boom.
That was good.
That was good. I like that. That was good.